a 60% offer acceptance rate, and 3 sales all in 90 days, Tim Sees is making things happen. I am here with super agent Tim Sees, and I want to share some numbers before we get started, Tim. This is pretty incredible to me. So this is literally in 90 days. Imagine if you did this in 90 days. And before I give you the numbers, if you get some value out of this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, or if you want to schedule a call about getting your career off on the right foot, feel free to click the link in the bio to schedule a call with our team. So Tim Sees. Tim, what were you doing before real estate?
I was a salesperson for the Kimball Center in Philadelphia. Nothing, too far off the sales type of realm. And then before that, I graduated college as a performing arts major.
Right, so he's got a little bit of an acting background. There's some performance here, right, which is really relevant in sales. But before you get to the performance, you got to get people to meet you, right? Like that's the issue. So here's Tim's numbers. The first 90 days in the business. He made 1,957 calls, had 324 conversations, spoke to someone every 6 dials, met 22 people, and that was basically a 50% show rate from the appointments that you set, which is pretty normal. Yeah. And has 5 offers he wrote with 3 accepted, so a 60% sign rate. Pretty incredible, but you weren't feeling that way, I would say maybe about like 30, 40 days ago. Tell us about that.
No. So, I was really struggling with, personally, the follow-up. I feel that I was not, after some great coaching, obviously, I was not as on top of the follow-up as I should be. I wasn't, with nurture leads, you should follow up every 2 weeks. And with watches, they're a few months out, maybe once a month, touch base. And then your hot leads, always once a week. I was just all over the place with follow-up, not really kind of nailing down the specifics. But, after a great business planning meeting with you, I really kind of honed in all of those things, and now my business is exploding.
Yeah, and he's got even more stuff happening, which is exciting. But here's the thing, right? And a lot of people probably felt this way, I know you did, where it's like I'm doing all the things, right? I'm making calls, I'm having conversations, I'm meeting people, and I'm not seeing results. And what happened was we actually sat down and inspected everything. And this is the miss that a lot of people in sales have happened to them, because they think they're doing the right stuff, but they never go back and actually check it, or hey, what could I do better? Or there's some small changes I can make that are going to have a massive impact on my business. So, you could say it's great coaching. I look at it as great implementation, because everyone has heard this stuff before. There's nothing new that we ever talk about on this show. And after doing a lot of activity, we went to level 3 of accountability, which is the inspection phase, because you got learn and educate, check, you did that. Implement, you were doing that, but we weren't going back and looking at things and kind of understanding that.
Right.
But then Tim did the thing that most people won't do. He accepted the coaching and just implemented it and didn't really question it. And what ended up happening was this explosion of business. So knowing what you know now, what are you doing differently?
So what I'm doing differently is always on that follow-up. I have to-dos, reminders, everything set in the calendar to remind myself that, hey, you need to call these people at this time to talk about this topic. And just kind of keeping everything in order and in schedule really helps me to make sure that everyone's getting touched or talked about and talked to, rather, in the right way and all that fun stuff.
Well, so let's unpack this, because there's some really impactful stuff here that a lot of people are struggling with right now. Most agents have this challenge. You're having intentional follow-up. It's not just, hey, or I'm checking in to see if you're ready, or hey, I'm following up to see if you're ready. You have a specific agenda that you're putting into the CRM and saying, I'm going to talk about this with this person, right?
Yes.
That sounds like a major change. So that's number one. Secondly, this guy's here every day making phone calls. This is not text. This is not email. There's days when he gets here before our sales manager, Brian, or he's here late at night with me making phone calls. So he's putting in the time. And what I'm also hearing is that you're realizing you got to earn their business. You're not expecting their business. So talk a little bit about that, because that's what follow-up's really all about.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that when I first started, like my first few weeks, I was dead set on okay, I need to get as many appointments, as many showings as possible. And we had a great coaching session with Andrea Ferry, shout out to her. And she was like, it should be more so you're trying to understand what they want. Like, it's building a relationship. It's a relationship business. And I think going into a call and just having that genuine curiosity and wanting to build a relationship and ultimately helping them at the end of the day was really impactful for me and my business to kind of put that on the forefront rather than, okay, I'm going to have all this scheduled and get that, it's like commission breath. Like you say, it's you don't want that.
So listen to all this stuff Tim just went through, and we're just getting started. We're just scratching the surface here, which is the exciting part, because now that he's seen some success, he's doing the opposite of what most people do. He's leaning into the things that really work even more so, right? I mean, I see that every single day when I'm here. So he's getting into the relationship and less about the sale, right? It's making it about the person. People do things for their reasons, not Tim's, not mine, their own reasons. You inspected your work, right? You focused on intentional follow-up and used the CRM to help you do that, which is another thing agents, they try to keep it up in their head.
Yeah.
The amount of people you're talking to, there's no way you can keep that stuff straight in your head.
It's almost impossible. I mean, if you're not putting that in a calendar, or at least in a little notepad in the CRM, you're going to forget.
So, accurate note-taking, using the systems, and most importantly, being open to coaching, right? So, there's a lot to unpack here. Tim, before we go, what do you recommend for someone who maybe isn't happy with the results that they're getting right now and they feel like they're putting in the work? What was that breakthrough for you like? I think the best thing you did was like, hey, like, give me some guidance here, like, give me the coaching. But besides that, right? And you do have to be open to it, which you did. Some people, they hear the coaching and then they don't listen to it, which what's the point of even asking in the first place? But for those people struggling out there where they feel like they're doing their work and they're not getting the results they want, what advice do you have for them knowing that you've just gone through this?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm thinking just the first step is to ask for help. I feel like a lot of people out there are really scared or just worried about, a rejection or even just like, I don't even know what you would be scared about. But the first step is just asking for help and some guidance, and then being ready and able to take the constructive criticism so that you can better yourself in your business. And then after that, it's just making sure everything is logged in, you're on a schedule. It's really important to have everything planned out so you're not, oh shoot, I forgot to, call this person today. I guess I got to do it tomorrow. You don't want stuff like that happening.
Well, you don't want to forget to call them and then they list or buy with somebody else.
Exactly.
So, that's really the whole point. So a lot to unpack here. A lot of basics that are working. And I shouldn't call them basics. This is really advanced stuff because the basics for most real estate agents is deciding where they're going to go for lunch for the day and how they're avoiding the income-producing activities. So this guy gets it. You're going to see big things from Tim. You want to get in touch with him, here's his information. And if you got some value out of this, subscribe to the channel, give us a like. And if you want results like this in your business, don't be afraid to schedule a call and ask for help with our team so we can give you the same guidance.